Some people don't take losing very well. Apparently, Rockets fans are trying to sabotage the business of a Warriors wife.
And the latest trend in wedding bouquets might make your stomach growl. Digital journalist Nia Wesley is live from the newsroom with more on what's trending across social media. And Nia, why didn't they have this when I was getting married?
Exactly. Girl, the pizza chain Villa Italian Kitchen is offering 100% pizza wedding bouquets. They actually hosted a contest for different brides around the country to enter, and they had the chance to be randomly selected to carry these bouquets. Take a look at these. They're 100% pizza dough, mozzarella cheese, tomatoes, pepperonis. I'm hungry. You know, the restaurant and the groom can actually get a pizza boutonniere on his tuxedo. So the restaurant said it's the perfect way to say pie do. Also trending this morning, Ayesha Curry, the wife of Steph Curry of the Golden State Warriors, is actually opening a Houston location of her restaurant, International Smoke. And it's a barbecue restaurant and has a pretty good reputation across the country. But Houston Rockets fans are not really welcoming her restaurant. The restaurant hasn't even opened yet. And as of yesterday, it had like a 1-star review. People are going on there, you know, really expressing their views about the loss. And nobody in of Southwest Houston said because Texan barbecue is apparently not good enough, so we need San Francisco barbecue to tell us how it's done. Steph is overrated. Really dropping some hate. Kirby S says, beware of this location. Was bitten by a horse they keep out back. Staff said his name is Draymond Green. Won't be returning. And then, so Warrior fans are actually coming in and trying to add in 5 stars and help get the rating back up. One guy commented, this place tastes like winning. When you come here, you'll never go 0 to 27 on threes ever again. This place is for champions. Guys, so they actually worked their rating up to 3 stars, but it doesn't even open till July 5th, so none of these are accurate. But, you know, I'm a Houston girl. I'm not really into sports. I'll be trying the place regardless, but this is crazy.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
That's unfortunate though, right? Come on, yeah. Houston, you're better than that.
Yeah, back to the pizza bouquets. I wonder how many brides got the little red stain on their dress.
I was going to say that.
Yeah. You know, hopefully it's not like very drippy, but I like my pizza saucy. So.
Thanks, Nia.